Good afternoon. I've sent you 4 pages which gives a description of some of the best, very best ads that have appeared in the world of advertising. Now, why I wanted you to have a look at this, because these ads form a kind of a model for the future ads which have been created out of it. I mean, these are models. I will just show you, and the pages will also guide you to understand that there have been a lot of Indian ads, very well-known Indian ads, which have been modeled on these 10 or 12, best ads of the world. So it is a very educative to a kind of understand how these these classic ads have been prepared. I mean, these are something which there can be the ads. It's a combination of slogans and visuals. And here, there can be slogans which can be, which can be classics. And the first page gives you some of these slogans. Like, for example, "Diamonds Forever." We know this is a slogan for De Beers. Everybody knows it. I mean, that has been borrowed by many Indian ads also. "Just do it." Say Nike says, "Just do it." Or "Thirst knows no seasons." That's Coca-Cola. "We try harder." Avis, for example. These go on. I mean, these are classic slogans, and these ads here, one after another, also gives an idea of how these. These slogans and these images have been merged together, and that has been the models for future ads itself. Like, for example, the first ad. Look at the first ad. The first ad is his master's voice. That's very common. That has been so many times. You know how the HMV at one time they were together. The Saregama separated when the contract ended. Now it has become the Indian Saregama, but for many years the his master's voice continued with but that symbol itself, that the dog listening to that old gramophone, and that is also something which is very common in the Indian ads itself. Like, for example, come to the second one. Coming to the second one, Unida Bakers. Now here, this bakery, that is it's a new concept of retailing. Like, for example, they introduced the packaged, the small package that goes on, and that is which is used for Pan Parag, Fruity in the Tetra Packs, the reusable PET jars. All these are small packets in which, even these cosmetics also, these Fair and Lovely tubes and everything. These are small varieties which sell. Even in the rural areas, everywhere it is available. But this was introduced by Unida Bakers. The second ad that you see. Then the third ad, for example, that's Steinway piano. It might look foreign, but then that has been introduced into many of in the Indian context. For example, the classic element of the association with the product of a prominent person who really uses it. This this is we call the celebrities. They have been used for Lux, for example. All the celebrities, all the film stars use it. For example, Taj Tea, you have Zakir Hussain, for example. The Reebok shoes, Azharuddin. Then the Samsung with Kapil Dev. the Pepsi with Shah Rukh Khan. All these are celebrities using, and this was introduced by the Steinweg piano. This was immortalized by that particular using. I mean, piano maestro used for that particular ad. Now, then Woodsbury soap, for example. These are very old ads, and as I told you, classics are never old. They come back again and again in new shape. For example, the skin you love to touch. This was the slogan that was used by Woodbury. But then that classic appeal, the basic appeal to the deepest human need. And then say Johnson's baby product used that the skin, for example. The Vadilal ice cream, for example. The Onida uses the neighbor's envy. These are classic, emotions that are associated with the soap, the Woodbury soap, and these associations have been, introduced by first these ads, and then come back, and then they come into entered into not just Indian ads, but the ads of other countries as well. These are the models, you can say. Then the classic element of let us look into this way. I mean, the fifth one, the School of Music. They laughed when I sat down at the piano, written by John in 19 is as old as 1925. But then, you start with a depreciatory kind of a headline. I mean, coming to making fun of that person, but with a twist at the end. When they say, when he starts playing, then comes the aha effect. Means everybody is astounded. The same kind impact comes with the Maggi sauce, for example. It's different. All the sauces, all the sauce you have, Kisan sauce and everything, the Maggi is different. So, you can say that it's new, but then it's very different. And it's then the Benetton, for example, United Colors, that also starts with it's simple, but then we are the best kind of an attitude. Then comes the Chesterfield, the Chesterfield ad. That is also 1926 ad. But then the classic element is breaking the attitudinal barriers. For example, here they use a woman as a smoker, and that is breaking the convention. Like, for example, we have this the man washing clothes in Ariel, or the condoms. The Kama Sutra condom is also breaking barriers. These are ads which breaks convention, and that was started with the Chesterfield ad. The conventional way of looking at smokers, a woman smoking, that breaks the convention. Then let's have the next ad. For example, the Singing in the Rain. The rubber keeps a motor bus. This was 15 years. This campaign continued, by Goodrich Company. For tires. And then this long-running campaign sticks to product performance story while being consistently competent. This, like, for example, Colgate toothpaste. It continues with the same slogan: bad breath and tooth decay. Surf washes whitest. Philips, let's make things better. That gives a continuity of the product itself. Some of the images may change, but the slogans remain. This also comes with the old ad of Singing in the Rain. These are classic ads, which, as I told you, they models for the new ads which we see. The eighth one, for example, for saying that, to Peggy for marrying me in the first place. The classic element, the honest emotional copy. This is they saying that, and it's a broad appeal, like Raymond's The Complete Man. It appeals to the emotions. Then DBS, Diamonds Are Forever. The emotion of love. That comes with this particular ad. The Hamilton watches. that is how, I mean, you give a gift, the beers you give a gift, or the I mean, the watch you give to your partner, kind of an classic gift that is given to one's loved ones. Like the next one, it's the financial ad, the Merrill Lynch ad. I mean, it goes into the next page. It's a very long ad. You might read it, but then that copy, I mean, it's about 6,000 word copy. Nobody reads. That's the conventional idea. Nobody reads that ad. But since it deals with stocks and bonds, I mean, people read it thousands of times. I mean, I mean, there were requests for 20,000 copies of that particular ad. I mean, people wants to get it clarified. These are unconventional ads, but then it becomes classic. Keep in mind that you can break conventions and get into a different ad altogether. Then the 10th ad, for example, the Hathway shirts. That is the gimmicks. And the gimmicks, and here comes David Ogilvy again. Suddenly, if it's a good company and a good product, a certain gimmick can change the idea. Like, for example, they give the eye patch. Of the eye patch is certainly gives to a pirate or something like that, and that was introduced in 1950. And then we get that Oneida devil, the neighbor's envy, that kind of the devil's image in that Oneida ad. That is a gimmick. I mean, you don't have the devil placed there, but then that gives a lasting image on the consumer. I mean, everybody now associates the Oneida TV with that devil image, devil's advocate. That kind of a gimmick started by David Ogilvy, and that has become a classic which comes repeating in newer forms, newer ways. Finally, the Marlboro Man, the cigarettes, for example, and that campaign, ran for half a century with very few changes. I mean, cigarettes designed for men that women like. It is designed for men, but women also like it. I mean, the classic element is the perfect marriage of copy and visuals, tells the sales story. And it comes with the Wills, for example, made for each other. We have that slogan, made for each other. And it started saying, the Marlboro Man said, it's the cigarette designed for men that women like. And that sentence has been changed by Wills, saying that made for each other. The Lidl soap, for example, the waterfall freshness, that is also same kind of an image that comes again and again in the newer ads. So the classics, you need to study the classic ads, and that's why they are very important, and they give you the model for the newer kinds of ad. It's not copying it. Actually, there are innovations, added things to the context, the newer context, and that makes the ads so attractive. Okay, try to have another look at these classic ads, and you will understand them, and you will find them, and it could be a good exercise also, trying to link with these classic ads, and what is the theme of that, and with the newer ads that you see around. Some of the ads are 50 years old or 70 years old, but then they are so common and classical that even in the 21st century and today's they keep repeating. The theme keeps repeating. Okay, good luck, and let's come up with as many questions as possible.